Tens of thousands of patients exist globally, yet no cure. Time's up. Joe draws a gun, recalling Netflix survival game. For a moment, he thought of ending it all. But recalling happy times with Luzai, he chose to do something major before leaving and contacted his old friend Ken. Ken was Joe's superior and a reliable family member. Upon hearing Joe's illness, Ken looked as if had seen a new horror film. Joe seems to have a change of heart. He took out some money, asking Ken to buy him accident insurance and include a small gift. The beneficiary is Luzai. But as accidental insurance doesn't cover suicide or natural death, Joe paid Ken to hire a hitman. As a father figure, Ken couldn't offer Joe hope but didn't want to be the bad guy. Love is unpredictable and often painful. Joe clearly understood this, so he got up and approached his longtime nemesis, Bella, stating directly that he wanted to sign a very special. Bella knew Joe was Europe's top assassin, so he introduced him to his underling Mike. Joe then went on to explain why he dropped. He said he was willing to part with $2 million and hoped Bella could help find someone to deal with him, the unneeded friend. Bella was stunned, never expecting the person she wanted to kill to make such a request. She agreed instantly. They agreed to kick off the operation within 24 hours, and Bella got to work planning. As soon as Joe left, Bella couldn't wait to issue a kill order. After all, Joe was a tough nut to crack, and the hit squad he chose was quite famous. With everything set, Joe didn't head home, but made his way to the opera house to wait for Luzai to finish work. When the two met, their affectionate bond remained as strong as ever, with a blissful atmosphere filling the air. But all of this was quietly captured by Bella's subordinate Mike using his cell phone, just like shooting a documentary. Luzai noticed Joe seemed a bit off and wanted to know what was up. "We should be making each other happy, but now we're breaking up," Joe said. Luzai looked shocked. They were clearly in love, but Joe chose this moment. Luzai could see Joe was resolute. After a kiss, Luzai walked away, leaving Joe in pain, but this seemed like the only road ahead. Joe could only watch Luzai leave and then returned home. This time he didn't lock the door, he opened all the switches instead. After downing some hard liquor, Joe sent Luzai a farewell voice message, sounding like a scene from a melodrama. In deep sorrow, Luzai quickly received Joe's voice message. But at that moment, Joe got a call. It was a call from the private doctor. He told Joe he didn't have any fancy disease. The testing center mixed up his file with someone else. "Why two voices in my head?" Joe puzzled. "Secret. Have your eyes seen?" "You won't die," the doctor reassured him, clearly thinking the problem was an eyesight issue. But looking at the clock ticking down, Joe felt like 1,000 deer were stampeding through his heart. See, the hunt was about to begin in 5 minutes. The first hit squad arrived downstairs. These guys were all Koreans, notorious for their bloody and ruthless tactics. Every time they finished a job, the scene was always a disaster, with all kinds of deaths and a mishmash of weapons used. Since Joe didn't lock the door, they waltzed right in. Yes, that was a big mistake. You cancelled the contract. Suddenly, they didn't care about being right or wrong, just the cold hard cash. With the leader's order, the hunt began. The red-clad guy's flashy moves failed against Joe. Joe tossed him out. Next second, he was shot. The female assassin attacked with an axe. Joe didn't break a sweat. With a little combo, Joe sent her packing, and the red guy went crazy. In the face of real strength, all the shouting and roaring were pointless. They only sped up the process of death. "Be careful, don't be foolish," he urged, then ordered the man with the butcher knife to keep attacking. "I've made an effort to ensure that the scene of thrashing the Korean brothers is portrayed as completely as possible." The girl in red with the bizarre weapon looked fierce. Swinging her weapon like a pro, she still couldn't land a hit on Joe. After taking out all her buddies, the leader seemed unfazed, spouting off insults without realizing how strong Joe was. The red-clad female assassin, still standing, was ignored by Joe, who easily wiped out the third-ranked assassin squad in the world. Then Joe called Bella. He wanted to cancel the contract and was willing to give up the $2 million gift wrap. Bella refused, as Joe had killed his father years ago, and now he finally had a chance to take Joe down. He wasn't about to let. He even threatened Joe, calling him a disgrace. Right after hanging up, he heard motorcycles roaring. Another hit squad was coming. His team consists of 2 brothers, wielding motorcycles as weapons, renowned for brutality, each kill a masterpiece. Seeing the duo, Joe started to flee while leaving a message for Lu Zai, stressing he was in trouble, but words wouldn't cut. He warned Lu Zai, "I don't want to deal with this kind of trouble anymore," repeating it like a broken record. "I don't want to run into this trouble again. I don't want to run into this trouble again," he reiterated. He said he's in trouble, told Lu Zai not to return home, patted his pocket, and would send money. He then lured the 2 killers into an abandoned warehouse. They charged Joe with confidence, but he was no easy target. For a moment, Joe seemed overwhelmed, but then he had an epiphany. He grabbed a steel pipe and hid. Subtitles: As one of them got close, Joe directly smashed him with a steel pipe, and then with a powerful kick, finally sent him off to the great beyond. After taking out the 2, Joe grabbed the assassin's motorcycle and hit the gas, speeding away like a bat out of hell. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more bizarre stories I wish would stop happening.